Look, we're not just going to sit here and go through a tidy, boring list of academic facts today. We are embarking on a massive, mind-bending descent into the absolute greatest unsolved cosmic mystery of our entire existence. I have to warn you right up front, what we're about to explore is going to fundamentally challenge how you view reality, how you view time, and your very place in the cosmos.
So what if everything we know about the beginning of time is just entirely wrong? Think about it. We've all been taught the standard story, right? The Big Bang was the starting line. Space, time, and matter just bursting into existence from an infinitely dense singularity. But the mystery gets so much stranger when you push the mathematics to their absolute limits. What if that beginning wasn't actually a beginning at all?
We are stepping way beyond the light, straight into the dark void before the Big Bang. Think of this explainer as a detective's journey. Every single scientific observation, every piece of data captured by our most advanced telescopes, they're all reality-breaking clues. We are hunting for the literal fingerprints left behind by something that existed before time itself even began.
Section 1. The Wall of Time.
To even begin this investigation, we have to approach an impenetrable boundary. It's a place where our current understanding of physics just violently dies. Let's physically trace our cosmic history backward. We start right here in the present day, 13.8 billion years in. We travel back, past the very first stars forming around the 100 million year mark, right down to zero, the Big Bang. But there's a final stop, the Planck epoch, 10 to the power of negative 43 seconds, a duration so impossibly short it makes the blink of an eye look like a literal eternity. In this unimaginably brief fraction of a second, the heat and the density surpass any language our physics even possesses. And that is exactly where reality begins to break down. Einstein's pristine equations of relativity, they shatter into pure nonsense. The math just generates infinities, which is really just a polite way for scientists to say we are completely and utterly blind.
You see, standard cosmology offers us this really comforting illusion of a clean beginning. But the chilling truth staring back at us from those shattered equations is that the Big Bang is not an absolute start. It's a wall. It is a mathematical wall that our physics literally cannot see past. It's a locked door, and absolutely nothing inside our universe can open it. But what if we could somehow listen to what's happening on the other side of that door?
Section 2. Echoes of Dead Universes.
What scientists discovered next completely shocked everyone, because it suggests a terrifying possibility that our universe is just standing in the graveyard of previous realities. Enter Nobel laureate Sir Roger Penrose and his theory of conformal cyclic cosmology. Now, this isn't just dry academic math. Penrose discovered a staggering geometric equivalence. He showed that the far future of a dying cosmos, after all the matter has decayed, all the black holes have completely evaporated, and nothing is left but this cold, empty expanse, that state mathematically maps precisely to the fiery, condensed birth of a new universe. The death of one universe is the exact birth of the next. It's an endless cosmic cycle of death and rebirth.
The implications of this are absolutely staggering. If this cyclic model is correct, every star that has ever burned, every human struggle, every civilization that has ever risen and fallen, it has all happened an infinite number of times before. Eons of entire histories and conscious minds, just completely erased beyond recovery. We are merely the current bounce.
But are there actual physical clues? Surprisingly, yes. Penrose claims to have found what he calls Hawking points in the cosmic microwave background. These are faint, ghostly rings in the oldest light in the sky, acting as the dying whispers of evaporated black holes from the universe that came before ours. Or consider the cyclical collision of higher dimensional membranes, or brains, that string theory predicts. And perhaps strangest of all, there is a mathematical possibility that our Big Bang was essentially an exit wound, a white hole birthed from the catastrophic collapse of a four-dimensional star in an older parent universe. We might literally be living inside a higher-dimensional black hole right now.
Section 3. The Grand Cosmic Illusions.
But this raises an even bigger, more unsettling question. What if the very fabric of the physical space we inhabit is a complete lie? Let's escalate this mystery a bit. Back in 1997, a physicist named Juan Moldacena discovered something that fundamentally broke our understanding of reality. He formulated the holographic principle. This staggering mathematics demonstrates that our entire three-dimensional reality, complete with gravity, is perfectly equivalent to a flat two-dimensional boundary with no gravity at all. The 3D space we move through every single day, the volume our stars burn and we live our entire lives might be the ultimate illusion. Just a 3D shadow being cast by a 2D surface.
Think about this quote for a second. Every atom, every particle, every thought is perfectly encoded on a surface we cannot see or reach. Think about what that really means for our origins. If we are just a holographic projection, then the Big Bang wasn't some massive physical explosion in space. It was actually more like the beginning of a film. It was the exact moment a cosmic projector was turned on. And that seamlessly leads us to the physical clues pointing toward a computed universe. First, physicists found that reality actually has a fundamental minimum resolution. It's called the Planck length, and it acts suspiciously like a minimum pixel size. Second, theoretical physicists like James Gates discovered actual error-correcting codes, the exact same mathematical structures that software engineers use for computer data transmission, growing organically right within the deepest equations of string theory. So under this theory, the Big Bang wasn't an explosion of matter, it was step 3, a computational initialization of our physical laws. And step 4? Well, conscious minds, you and me, are simply a byproduct unfolding as the simulation runs. So the absolutely crucial point here is this. If our universe is a simulation, then before the Big Bang, there was no space, there was no time, there were no quantum fields. There was only a reality our physics has no language to describe. Someone built this, someone turned it on, and somewhere in a universe our equations cannot possibly reach, they are still watching it run.
Section 4. Darkness before the light. Let's descend even further into the primordial abyss, because before the light, there was something far more menacing. The standard story says the universe expanded, hydrogen clouds formed, and slowly ignited into the very first stars, finally bringing light to the cosmos. But the dark origins theory, it suggests something much heavier. In the first fractions of a second after the Big Bang, extreme density fluctuations birthed primordial black holes directly out of the raw, terrifying violence of space. No stars required. The universe's first objects were not stars. They were not clouds of gas. They were invisible, ancient voids that were present before the first light had any star to even come from. The darkness was here first.
27%. That staggering number represents the amount of invisible dark matter that is currently scaffolding our entire universe. And scientists now strongly suspect that this mysterious missing mass might actually consist of these ancient prestellar primordial black holes. The very framework upon which our entire visible universe is built is made of a darkness older than the first atom. Section 5. The impossible void.
We have finally arrived at the ultimate, most profound philosophical destination of our entire investigation. Back in 1973, a physicist named Edward Tryon proposed a truly breathtaking idea. Empty space isn't actually empty. Quantum particles are constantly popping in and out of existence. And since the positive energy of all matter is perfectly canceled out by the negative energy of gravity, the total energy of our universe is exactly zero. Creating it required borrowing nothing from nothing. An entire universe quantum mechanically tunneled into existence from absolute non-being. It just happened.
But hold on a second. Look closer at the evidence. Every single time scientists try to explain how the universe came from nothing, they secretly smuggle in hidden assumptions. For a quantum fluctuation to occur, the laws of quantum mechanics must already exist. For a bubble multiverse to spawn us, there has to be a pre-existing, eternally inflating field. For a mathematical universe to be born, timeless logic must exist. Whatever wrote the rules did so in a void that was already waiting for us. True nothingness was never actually an option.
And that brings us to the heaviest blow of all. True, absolute nothingness. A state with absolutely no space, no time, no laws, and zero potential is mathematically impossible. If true nothing cannot exist, then something has always existed. An eternal architecture, a ground of being that was never created because the very concept of creating it requires something to already be there. It stretches backward forever.
We are the universe, using tools forged in stellar explosions, desperately trying to understand our own birth. We are staring at a wall we literally cannot see past. And so I have to leave you with this final, impossible question. If a framework of reality, math, logic, quantum laws, has always existed before time itself, who or what wrote the rules we are currently trapped inside?